Okay, go ahead.
Rena, I admired and loved from the beginning. To me, she was perfect. Perfect in every way. Her clothes were perfect. Her toilette was perfect. She was a knitter. Every stitch was perfect. Whatever she did beautifully. Her handwork was beautiful. My sister Bess did a lot of handwork, but not as perfectly as Rena did. Anything Rena did for me was perfect. When we dated, the four of us dated. Your father, Al, not Al, his name was not Al, it was,
Don't bang the table.
Oh, it was...
Mel?
No.
Rena and...
Rena and...
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So,
I can't think of his first name. Freed.
Al Freed.
No, it wasn't Al. He was a lawyer.
Oh.
He was a brilliant man.
Okay.
Brilliant brain.
But you used to go out, the four of you.
We used to, yes, we went out. We dated before they were married and before we were married. I don't know who married first. It doesn't matter. But Rena, we would spend the afternoon downtown doing nothing in particular. I don't remember if we were looking for anything in particular, but we would come back and the men would come over and we'd go out to dinner, and Rena would regale them with the day we spent. And I sat there as fascinated as they did, or I thought they were. She held forth and spoke of the afternoon. It was so entertaining that it was like I wasn't with her for the afternoon. And this is the truth.
Wow. I
just loved the way she colored the day.
Yeah.
Really colored the day.
Do you have any example? Can you give an example?
Oh, I don't remember how she said it or what she said. How could I remember?
Yeah.
All those years ago. Impossible.
Yeah.
But I loved being with her. And I felt everybody should love being with her. She was particularly kind and sweet and caring to me. And even though I was only 17 or 18 when I first met her. We picked her up and we came in to the house I can't think of any names.
That's okay. Doesn't matter.
It was a single home. That's where she more or less grew up. So did Leonard and Chester. And I was so impressed with the house. A single house. We were in a flat with how many kids. The house itself was beautiful. And her mother was a tiny woman, or so as I remember. She was not very tall.
Yeah. And
apparently she loved me. She was always very, very sweet when I came in. And why we came into the house to pick Rena up, I don't know. I guess that was the fashion at that time. And Mrs. Rothenberg was always very sweet. My sister Adele has a different opinion. Did have a different opinion. She saw her differently. Once she married Leonard, she saw her differently.
Yeah.
At any rate, Rena, her father adored her. She was her father's gal. There's no question about it. And I adored her. She was smart. She was kind. She was understanding. She was protective of me. After all, I was only 18 when I started to go out with David.
How old was she then?
I have no idea.
4 or 5 years older?
She had been married before.
Oh.
To the love of her life, Bilski. His last name was Bilski. And he was living with another woman.
Oh.
And I think that was a love affair. But he married, I think, I shouldn't say what I think, but it's almost knowledge. Not really. Rena wanted whatever his first name was, Bilski. And her father got her Bilski.
Oh.
They married. And it didn't last long.
Mm-hmm.
He was cheating with the woman he really cared about.
Oh, boy.
So she got rid of him. And then, what's his name? What's his
Her
name?
second
Freed.
husband, yeah.
Arthur. Arthur.
Oh, good.
Arthur Freed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I remembered it.
Yeah.
Arthur Freed came along, and he really courted her.
Uh-huh.
And she finally married him.
Mm-hmm.
And we double dated. I married your father. We double dated all the time. When they were married, they moved into 816 Delaware. 816 Delaware, which incidentally, Shelley and Ken's daughter is living at 816 Delaware and Bryant, and so is her twin brother, not with her, across the street, diagonally across the street, in a condominium. He bought the condominium, and it's a retail.
Okay. So they lived there.
They lived there, and it was the first apartment I had ever seen in my life. And I was so impressed. I was so impressed at the time. Today, I think it's just big enough for Allison. But
so what was? Tell me more about what was special about Rena.
Oh, Rena. Everything about her was special. I can't tell you much more. I'm repeating myself.
What did she make? You said she.
Everything she made. She was a knitter. And she made beautiful sweaters. She made beautiful argyle socks for the men. It looked machine made. It was so perfect.
Did she cook too?
Oh, when she had us over for dinner, your father and I were not married, I don't think. And it was 816 Delaware?
Yeah.
Was that? Okay.
Yeah.
She had it was a small kitchen. And adjacent to that was a small breakfast room, no dining room. And she would make dinner. And as I say, everything she did so neatly and perfectly. She would make a roast pork dinner. We adored it. A standing rib roast pork dinner. The way it was flavored, the way it was done, the way she handled herself in the kitchen, the way whatever she did looked so beautiful and perfect and neat and clean as a pin. I was impressed with all of it. And when we sat down to dinner, her whipped mashed potatoes were like whipping cream. They were so delicious. And the pork, well, of course, you can't buy meat like that anymore. Was so tender. And so delicious and moist. Today everything's dry.
Right.
Yeah.
Did she have good dinner time conversation?
At dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she always had anecdotes.
Uh-huh.
Always had a story to tell. And most of the time it was very funny. She had a great sense of humor. Mm-hmm. I just loved her. Mm-hmm. And
did you do things together, just the two of you, ever?
Oh, sure. We went downtown together.
Oh.
We went shopping together. And we would come back home to her apartment, and she would tell the men about it, and I would listen like I wasn't with her. I thought I explained that.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I'm repeating myself.
Right.
So I just thought she was divine, wonderful. She couldn't do anything wrong in my book.
And when
we were just dating, the four of us, and we'd go out to the ladies' room so I could throw up because I couldn't drink. And of course they drank, and I had a drink too, but I would have to go and whoops it and come back, and I'd drink some more because I didn't want them to know that I couldn't drink, that I wasn't as sophisticated as they. Okay? I had to hold my own even then. Determined. So,
would she go with you to the bathroom?
She always went with me. A couple of times she held my head. And when I was upset about David, about your father,